Narc is the only game in this episode that I've played once before, all the way back in late 2009 as part of Midway Arcade Treasures 2 on the Xbox. It's one of Midway's many gory arcade games alongside Smash TV, Mortal Kombat and Total Carnage. The story sees Max Force and his red second player counterpart Hitman trying to bring down the drug trafficker, terrorist and all around bad bloke, Mr. Big. The first level has me sent to investigate the Das Loft gang and their pipeline hideout. I launch myself out of my car, leaving Hitman behind, and right away use one of my rockets to reduce members of the group to smouldering chunks. They'll try to shoot me back as I start using my normal gun instead. Killed enemies drop money and drugs I can confiscate for points. I can also walk while crouching to let bullets fly over me. There's another way of defeating enemies. By getting close I can arrest them, which results in more points than killing them. Though these arrests only work by standing against them for a few seconds, otherwise they'll simply surrender and retreat. I enter the pipeline, which I was expecting to be some kind of club, but is actually a train station. I just charge forward while shooting until the game stops the screen from scrolling. After it gets moving again when I pick up this red keycard, I myself commit an unforgivable crime when I get 2 gang members to retreat and then when their backs are turned, blow them up trying to kill a third. By the exit I get some successful arrests and then start gunning down their dogs because I've already crossed the line. I go through the exit and end up back on the streets. I fight down to the end of the streets again and go through the exit to finish the level. Every item I take in and arrest is then added up for bonus points. Level 2 has me against Dr. Spike Rush to destroy his drug lab. Once again I go flying out of my car and find the Dr. Spike enemy, guys dressed as burglars throwing syringes at me. Getting one stuck in my face stuns me for a couple seconds. These guys are right pains as they keep jumping over everything. One of them even dodges my rocket explosion. I decide they just aren't worth it and walk past them, but later on there's more and they have purple skin for some reason. When I finally do get past some, a helicopter passes by but fails to kill me. It zooms by again and everyone jumps out, right into my rocket. I reach the end of the screen and, I don't know, I feel like naming your secret drug lab Crackstop is just asking for yourself to be caught. I'm in and within seconds getting syringed and mauled. My rockets end up taking out more of these giant novelty test tubes than they do the spikes I'm trying to hit them with. I reach the exit but it says I need a blue keycard. I missed it on the floor earlier, so I grab it and go through, and that's the end of the second level. Stage 3 has me sent after Joe Rockhead, also known as Dumpster Man. I dive out of a helicopter to fight my way across this bridge. At first it's just a long stretch with the regular gang members until the Dumpster Men show up. They can take a few bullets before they die and can also pick up the nearby dumpsters and throw them at me. Even when getting hit by a rocket, their bodies stay in one piece. Next there's mines in the ground, but whoever planted them made sure they brightly flashed all colours so that anyone could see and avoid them. And then we get these guys with their knives and shrieks. I can't tell if these are clowns or naked dudes in clown wigs. They can also keep their bodies intact when hit by a rocket. Then comes a helicopter flying above with a guy dropping rockets on me. Despite that advantage, they pass by close to the ground so I can blow it up. Then comes more dogs. Something to point out is that when shot, instead of dying, they shrink into puppies and run away, all while dealing with a second helicopter that just won't leave me alone. It takes a while for me to bring it down, and then the same thing happens to a third helicopter, and a fourth, and this is a very long and tedious stage, far longer than what comes before or after. We're at the halfway point and I've exhausted every talking point on this level. It's just more helicopters and sometimes a group of gang members. There's one last group of dumpster men at the end before I get into the nightclub. That level was about the same length as the first 2 put together. Stage 4 gives me the name of the clowns with knives, Kinky Pinky. He's the one kidnapping and trafficking women into Mr. Big's pawn ring, which I have to break up. My next new enemies are cowboys throwing dynamite around the streets. They also have normal guns, but these are the easiest enemies to deal with so far since the regular gang members. There's also the one guy trying to shoot me and run me over with his car. I make a very big mistake when I reach the adult bookshop and I'm still just shooting everything I see. I'm supposed to keep the women safe from the pinkies, as they'll try to carry them away, but I was on autopilot, thought they were pinkies due to the similar colour scheme, and gunned most of them down myself. I try the end door and inside I have to deal with the rockheads throwing barrels at me until I reach the exit and go outside. I then try the next door where I get attacked by giant bugs for a bit before I go back out again. The next door says I need a silver card which I don't remember picking up but have regardless. This ends the level. Stage 5 introduces me to Sergeant Sky High, one of Mr. Big's militants and cultivators, and I start the level getting shot in the dick before I can even react. Sky Highs are kind of quick on their feet and have a machine gun, but this level has very little vertical space, so I keep moving up and down while constantly shooting. This gets most of them on my way to this door. I'm now going left with the ability to nab a shitload of drugs. I also get Sky Highs with flamethrowers running for me. These drugs are tough too. If instead of taking them I rocket them, they go flying but are undamaged. It's not long before I reach the exit, but I need the green key card. The last Sky High drops it when I kill him, and I go through the door and finish the level. How short every other level is just keeps making Stage 3's length stand out more. Stage 6 and I'm finally going after Mr. Big himself. I drop myself into the street and get a mix of enemies, including the return of Dr. Spike, who hasn't been seen since Stage 2. I just keep running and gunning down the street, discovering that Rockheads can't outpace me, so he stays just 2 steps behind me the entire journey, until he gets taken out by friendly fire from one of the Cowboys' dynamite. I make it to the end and go inside the Mr. Big International building. I meet a new enemy in here, dudes in fedoras and business suits, guns and a goofy walk cycle. They may actually have ended up being less of a threat to me than the basic gang members, but as I reach the end of the room, I discover that they've somehow found a way to copy my crouching ability to avoid bullets. At the end is a big red door requiring the red keycard I got back in Stage 1. I get a message saying that no one else can get in and that I'm on my own from here, as if I've received any help from anyone else at all so far. It turns out the red door was guarding the eye-bleedingly red room. It's very short with nothing new until I reach the blue door and use my blue keycard. The blue room just has blue windows, so it's much easier to look at. This one is mainly guys in suits until I reach the door leading the silver card, and that's the end of Stage 6. Stage 7 has me continuing my fight through Mr. Big's headquarters. I start off in the silver room and the dogs return after taking a few levels off. Even worse, the purple Dr. Spikes return. As I make it a good chunk across this room, Mr. Big zooms by on his wheelchair. The wheelchair has a pair of machine guns built into it and he has an almost endless supply of henchmen to back him up and take shots for him, but I catch his wheelchair with a rocket and blast him into the air. He survives this though and crawls away. He shows up again and I take out another chair as I reach a gold door I lack the keycard to. I take him out a third time, putting him down and making him drop the gold keycard. Going through the door finishes the level, but I'm not done yet as Mr. Big is still alive. And so we get the final level in the game. The worst level in the game. Mr. Big shows his true form as a gigantic cyborg head on a Roomba. Genuinely off-putting to look at. Making contact with him sends me rocketing across the screen. Once I deal enough damage to knock his glasses off, his now visible eyes will continuously spam lasers. I manage to find a good spot to crouch underneath them and keep shooting, but he eventually makes contact again and bounces me back out of it. He then pins me in the corner and just wipes out an entire health bar. And then he catches me with lasers in the air. This is another game where only the final boss has to be restarted on a continue after the rest of the game just placing you where you were. This takes forever, and it's why I remember this game for most when I played it back in 2009. I spent more time on this boss than the entire rest of the game combined. He just has a stupid amount of health and can pretty much hit you and wipe you out whenever it wants. On my 4th try I managed to blow apart his entire head to reveal the giant skull inside. This is even harder as now he's faster, has larger range and is constantly spitting many copies of his tongue at me. And it's really awkward to hit him in this form. After 12 minutes of constant retries I finally make some progress when the skull starts exploding. I killed him, but he got a parting shot at the exact same moment and took my last life too, making me restart the fight. I was furious. This fight is clearly balanced only for 2 players. People playing alone can just fuck off I guess. It's another 15 minutes of being wiped out every 30 or 40 seconds before I finally managed to bring him down. That was half an hour just for the final boss. Mr. Big drops a gold card and has one last go at me as some bugs. If I died there, I'd have been unbelievably angry. It almost happens too before I reach that final door. It takes me to Mr. Big's vault, where I can take all the gold bars inside for a massive point increase. I leave through the exit and that is the game finished. No real ending, just a blinding congratulations text. Narc is a fun game, though comparing it to another Midway game, I enjoy Smash TV a lot more. It's chaotic and satisfying to play, but that final boss is so awful that it alone drags down my opinion of the game. Were it not for that boss, it may have wound up 10 or so spots higher in the ranking. It took me about 2 or 3 years just to make myself play it for this video after deciding I wanted to cover it, because I knew I'd have to do that boss again. So, enjoyable enough, but has one moment that makes it my least favourite of the Midway games I've covered so far.